Hey, it's Matt. I'm back with another tool haul video. Just like the last videos, I got these from an online auction, and each box represents a separate lot of tools, so we have four separate costs. I've added in the auction fees and divided and added in the gas that it took to go and get them. So the top left box, I think I did good on. The top right box, I think will turn out to be a good lot. But the bottom two, well, things got a little bit out of hand with those two. So let me bring you in a little bit closer to each lot and do a quick run through of what I paid and what's in there. After that, I'll lay out each box individually and do some analysis, take a closer look at them. And we're going to start with the upper left box, the combos. That should be pretty easy. That box doesn't really correlate too much with the other three boxes. And then I'll move to the bottom left box because that box has a lot of newer stuff in there. There's some older stuff in there, but I'm going to work from newest to oldest of what I think. And we'll go right to the right of that one, and there's some older stuff in there, some newer stuff in there. And then the top right box, that one I think is going to have some pretty old stuff in there. So we'll save that for last. I think that's going to be the best one. So let's get to this. All right, let's start you off with these combination wrenches. Now, this box I paid $31.81 for, and I think I did pretty good. A lot of Proto wrenches in here. There's probably, what, 7, 8, 9 Proto wrenches in here. An old Mac 3/4. Yeah, there's a China wrench in here, but who cares? A Lone Star, whatever that is, I'll have to look at that. We have some ratcheting wrenches in here, some gear wrenches. You know, those are $10 a piece, and I think I have 3 of those in here. So I think I did pretty well on this box, and we'll find out. We'll go through them. Let's check out these sockets. I'm going to go through this quick before I tell you what I paid for it. But reason I've been on this one, Proto stuff in here. There's Snap-on stuff in here. There's Pittsburgh in here and some other stuff, some no-namers, some Husky. But a lot of these larger sockets are Proto. So I think I did pretty good. I might make out on this one. Let's see what these Snap-ons are. Inverted Torx, Snap-on. Looks like we got the E Torx. So I mean, that Snap-on set right there, that's got to be pretty pricey. So I think I did okay on this one. Let me know. I paid $87.62, so that one stung a little bit. But this one stung a little bit more because there's not much in this box. But I had to get this box if I got this box, because there's a socket on there that goes to the set, and I didn't have to do it just for that socket, but you know how it is. They're tools, so I had to. But there's some Snap-on in here. There's some Proto in here. There's some Master Mechanic, some cheaper stuff in here. But we have a Matco 1/4-inch ratchet. I mean, that's a nice little ratchet. That's, you know, probably through Matco, that might be a $50 ratchet, brand spanking new, maybe more. I don't know. I don't buy Matco stuff new, but it might be okay. But if you saw the price already, $90.04 I paid for this box. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see when we go through it. But the box that I think is going to be the nicest box out of this bunch is this box here. And I didn't pay too much for it. I paid $57.28 for it. And this was 2 boxes. I just dumped 1 box on the top of this just for the sake of the video. But, you know, whatever, laser level thing. We got a wedge for splitting wood. I don't have one of those, so I'll use that. That's nice. And these Allen wrenches were in that box, but we have a really old breaker bar here, and I don't know what brand it is. Couldn't tell. New Britain, awesome. So that is old. We'll get you in a little closer later on that one. And I knew this was a Snap-on breaker bar, 3/8 F10L, and that's a little bit older logo, I think. So that's cool. And what I really wanted to bid on this was these old Snap-on sockets, and I'll have to look at the date on them. The date code right there, that is a 7, and I believe that is 47, but I couldn't see any of these in the pictures. So it's nice that they are probably in the 40s. There's a bunch of these. And that looks like an 8, kind of hourglass, weird 8, and I think that's a 48. Awesome. So there's a lot of these in there. I think there's some older Craftsman in there. I think that's one there. That looks a little suspicious, but there are definitely some older sockets in here. So this is going to turn out to be a good box, I think. So let me get these all organized. We'll go through one at a time here and get you in real close and do some analysis, see if I made out or not, or if I just blew all my money on some auction tools. Alright, be back. Alright, let's bring you in on these wrenches here. So most of them are Proto. We'll start with the foreigners here. 1 1/8 combination wrench, China. Not worth too much. Maybe I'll donate that to work. Use an 1 1/8 fairly frequently, so not a bad tool to have around. Got a Lone Star 3/4 7/8 open end combo, 79324, and it's made in India. Ain't that something? Lone Star, Texas, made in India. Probably not worth too much. These Protos, you know, we have a 1 1/4, 1 1/8, 1 1/16, a 1 inch, 15/16, and a 7/8. So these are, you know, got a little bit of surface rust on them. Not too bad. They'll clean up nicely. Did a little bit of research on the Evil Bay and saw a set, I think, of these two that sold for $30 about with shipping. So I would say that for this whole set, minimum, I could probably get $50 for, maybe $60, maybe more. And also have these two Proto combination box wrenches. Look like they were a long pattern. Those are kind of nice. Don't know if, didn't really find a good example of these on there of a completed listing. But, you know, we'll say if I could get $5 a piece for these gear wrenches, $5 a piece, even though I know I could probably get more for those, and then say $5 a piece on the Mac, in the Matco here. So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 with that, and if I sold this set, got $60 for it, that's $100. Again, I paid a little over $30 for this box. I think I did pretty good. If I made $70, let me know what you think. Am I way off, or am I about right? Can I get more, less? I don't know. I think I made out pretty good on this box. So let's check out the newer socket box that I had. All right, let's take a look at box number 2. Now this one was around $87. So I don't know if I did too good on this box. I think I broke about even, maybe probably a little better. I think we did a little better, but I don't know if I doubled it. But what do you think? Let's take a look here. We'll start from the top with all of the overseas stuff. We have a set of Japan, a little bit rusty, 1/2 inch drive. Doesn't look too used. This one has a nut stuck in it. Oh well. 2 Husky, look like they've never been used, 12 point. Bunch of no-namers here. We have basically a full set, 1/4 inch drive, deep and shallow, of Duracraft with 2 Duracraft extensions and a Torx bit. Some adapters and little nut driver type bits there. These are kind of neat. I don't know if those are Pittsburgh or not, but probably use those. Some adapters, a swivel. Again, no name stuff. I think a couple of these said DeWalt on them. All of these here are Pittsburgh, and basically another full 1/4 inch set deep with some extras in here. I think these colored ones come as a set, so I don't think I have a full set of that, and I'm missing some of the chrome ones, so together I make a full set and have some extra ones. Extensions, a couple of Torx bits, some impact sockets. I believe those are metric, but these are standard shallow and deep in the Pittsburgh. Everything below this line is US made. So we'll start from the left here with the O Allen. So all of this is O Allen, 13/16 deep, a couple 10 millimeters, an 8 millimeter, half-inch to 3/4 impact adapter, half-inch impact swivel. I don't know what this little one is, a 7 millimeter. O Allen extensions, looks like 2 half-inch and a 3/8. A lot of extensions. You'll see a theme in the next box with the extensions. A USA Master Mechanic spark plug socket, 13/16. And I believe this is a US made Husky. You can barely read it. It's in pretty rough shape. And then these, I don't know what these are. They say they're made in USA. And they have 2 lines right by. Let's see if I can get it in there. 2 lines on each side. You can see that. That's all it says is the size in USA. So I'm used to seeing those 2 lines with, you know, the Craftsman V, but it would say Craftsman on there. I want to say Thorson, but I'm not sure. But these 2 Torx bits and those have those 2 lines on each side of it. So don't know. If you know, let me know. And right here, this is one of the reasons why I bid on this one, was for these sockets. And these are all Proto Professional. 1 1/16. I think we got an 1 1/4, and we're missing, starting at 1 1/4, I think we're missing the 1 1/8 and the 15/16. But other than that, we have almost a full set half-inch drive, 12-point shallow sockets, so that's kind of cool. You know, that's got to be worth something. And loaner 3/8 drive, 3/4 shallow, Proto Professional, and you know, probably bought these with the wrenches from the other box that we had. All right, let's go with the SK stuff here. Now this is fairly early SK 11/16 deep. Now this is before the SK wane, so we know that this is pre 1964. So in 1964, SK started putting wane on their sockets. And shortly after that, they got rid of the knurling on here. And they went to an all chrome socket like this. And this is an SK wane right after, focus, right after they got rid of the knurling on there. So this is an adapter, 3/8 to 1/2 inch. And then after the wane, they just went back to SK like this, 4 millimeter socket. Just SK USA. So that's kind of cool. I like those older SKs. And next up we have this, which I think really made this box worth it. And this is a set of snap-on inverted Torx sockets. And these brand new are pretty pricey. I see them go anywhere from $60 to almost $100. So for this set, I think that gets me pretty close to paying for the whole box, $87. If I got $60 for these, I'd be happy. I got all of this other stuff. So I think I definitely broke even and probably got a little bit higher than that. But you know, I like to do a little bit better than this on these tool hauls here. And lastly but not least, some snap-on sockets, just some randoms, a 15 millimeter, and it has that little 9 right there. And if you see a 9 shaped like that, that is for 1989. So 1989, not too old. And then we got this one here. 5.5 millimeter. And that has that little crescent, if you can see it right there, or the parenthesis. And that is for 1991. So, not bad. A couple of snap-ons. You know, some USA tools. Half of them are USA, probably a little less than half, but, you know, decent usable tools for the most part. So, I think I did okay on that one. The next box, that's the 90-some dollar box. So, let's take a look at that and see if I did any better with that one. Alright, let's take a look at what we got in box number 3. Nothing too exciting. Just going to kind of go over this one quickly because this is the one I paid 90 bucks for, and I don't know, I think I broke even. Got a couple of Proto speed wrenches, not really worth too much. The 1/2-inch one is bent, probably just hang on to those. Proto 1/2-inch breaker bar, pretty long one, pretty nice tool. It's not in that bad a shape. I'm going to hang on to that and use that. I don't have one of those, so why not? Another Proto 1/2-inch drive extension, bunch of O'Allen or Allen extensions. What do you call those? O'Allen, I call them O'Allen. It says O'Allen on there, right? Is that an O or is that just a nut? And is it called Allen? I don't know. Somebody tell me, please. I don't know. Anyway, some Japanese no-namer stuff. Got a Master Mechanic 1/2-inch drive ratchet, and this is a Husky, and they're basically the same thing. So I don't know, you know, maybe this is 10 bucks. These are basically brand new. I say 10 bucks for that, 5 bucks for that if I were to sell it. I have this interesting combination Japanese 3/4 Aigo, who knows what that's called. Anyway, I use a 3/4 a lot at work, so I'm going to bring that to work. That might come in handy, having that little socket thingy on there. I don't know, it might break right away. We'll find out. I'll use it. This nifty little tool here, you know what that is? Anyone? Anyone? I do. If you've ever changed tires for a living, you know, professionally, you know what this is. This is to pull your valve stem into your rim. Your rim's got a hole in it. When you change a tire, we usually replace the valve stem on there. It's kind of insurance to make sure that that customer doesn't come back with a flat tire. You just cover all your bases. The valve stem is a couple bucks. Put a new one in there anytime you change the tire. So, yeah, stick through the back side of the rim. Screw this on to where the cap goes. Give it a good yank. And it seats that valve stem in there. This is a little interesting. This is a puller arm for a Matco, I believe, GM steering wheel puller, MST 510. So this is just one of the arms for that puller replacement arm. I would imagine that, you know, you might break this off every once in a while if you have a stubborn steering wheel or aren't using the tool properly. So yeah, that's just 1/2 of the kit. I believe the kit is 20 bucks, so you know, 10 bucks, but probably not worth that much because you only have one. So who knows? A couple of sockets, Craftsman and then Proto. You know, this is why I think they do it on purpose at those auctions. They stick one thing that belongs to the other box in one box, and so you gotta buy the other box. So that's kind of why I got one that other box, and it's like, you know, this stuff might go with that. You know, there's some Proto stuff in there, so I'll get it, and yeah, that's what happens. All right, Popular Mechanics, probably a promo little cornerish nut driver thing. Don't know if that's really worth much. I looked it up on eBay, and there was one auction on there saying it was rare. I don't know about that. It looks like it's, I don't know, kind of just a promo tool. Made in USA, though. I don't know. You know anything about these? Let me know. Alright, this is a steel, probably chainsaw or something. Any steel power tool, wrench. I don't really know too much about chainsaws. I know they make more than just chainsaws. So this is probably just a little multi-tool that comes with whatever piece of power equipment it goes to. I don't know, you know, spark plug wrench on there, maybe for something else on there. I don't know, probably not worth much. This little tool is a K-Star. It's a K-Star 5523, and this is kind of interesting. I thought this was going to be a battery terminal wrench. From the picture I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's 5/16 or 8mm battery terminal wrench, but it's not. It's a 4mm, and I was like, I don't know what I would ever use a 4mm for, and I guess this is for Ford headlight adjuster screws. Probably works on other vehicles too. Oh, I'm blinding you, but yeah, and that was probably a pretty expensive tool, new, at least $20, maybe more, maybe 30. So I don't know, it might be worth $5 to somebody. Maybe I'll sell it, maybe I'll hang on to it, I don't know. But what really made this box kind of all worth it was, well, I guess this extension kind of, and this ratchet. We'll start with the extension. 24-inch extension, and it is a snap-on FX24, and I wish it were in a little better shape. Looks like it's been beat on pretty good over here. It does accept the wrench. The wrench does hold it on there, so it's not too damaged, but you know, I'd feel bad selling something like this. It's, you know, a little bit too beat up for my liking to pass on to anybody else. Looks like it may have been used with an impact as well. I don't think you get it peening over like that using it, you know, by hand. So I'll hang on to this one, add it to my collection. I mean, I, you know, probably couldn't buy a new or a used extension, 24-inch extension for, you know, less than $10, maybe $15. So whatever, still worth something to me. But really what kind of made me not go broke on this is this little ratchet here, this little 1/4-inch ratchet, where you'd think it wouldn't be worth too much, but it's an AFR 58TM, and this ratchet, brand new, goes for about $85 from what I've seen them sell for on completed listings. So it's used. It's not worth $85 now, that's for sure, but you know, I couldn't replace this for less than that unless there was a used one, and I would say maybe $30 I could get for this. What do you think? You pay $30 if it was cleaned up and looking a little nicer? I don't know, I probably would if I wanted a nice soft handle. I've never had one of these before, so again, I'm probably going to hang on to that and throw it in the toolbox. I was going to buy a 1/4-inch ratchet the other day when I was in the parts store, and was just going to get kind of a no-name one just to throw in my pack out, but I think I'll throw that one in there and hang on to it. Alright, last but not least, the wedge. This is a S-Twing splitting wedge. Alright, enough of this box. Done with it. Let's take a look at the next one, and I think it's going to be good. Alright, finally, we're on to box number 4. Let's get right into this. Black & Decker little laser level thing. I've never used one of these things before. I just do it the old-fashioned way. You know, the hard way, I guess. But I don't know. I might use this. We'll see. I'll definitely hang on to it and see if it works. It's open. I'm sure it was used once or twice. Haven't even really looked up to see how much these things go for. I don't know, 15, 20 bucks or something, maybe more. I don't know. Let me know. Was that a good grab? We'll see. Next, we have the box of Allens. And there's a couple other things in there, some chisels, some punches, but nothing really of any value. I'm not going to go through all of that stuff with you. So we'll get right into the good stuff. I'm going to jump around here a little bit. I mean, we have some Snap-on, we have some Craftsman, we have some older stuff. some newer stuff, but not a lot. So this box I think turned out pretty good. So let's get started. All this stuff over here, this is Taiwan no name kind of stuff. I think this is a bench top or something. Yeah, bench top, whatever. A couple of no namers in there. We have some her brand stuff right here. A Hinsdale socket. We got a Hinsdale SR22. And it's got the old logo on there. So this could be older. This could be World War II era. 11/16, 12 point. Looks like it's cold broached. So it definitely could be, you know, even pre-World War II. But not too sure. A couple of her brand's tools. A drag link tool here. Don't know if I'll ever use that. But you know, just odds and ends. This one's cracked, so we'll throw that in the scrap metal. So definitely a loss on that one with that crack in it. Somebody probably put it on their impact. All right, newer Craftsman stuff. There's a couple of V sockets in here. There's some G series sockets in there, and there's also a couple of EE series sockets. And I think these are made by Stanley, if I am not mistaken. So I'm sure somebody will let me know if I'm wrong. But I think this was in a Stanley Proto era. So I think these are pretty decent sockets. So a couple of those in there. We'll get to those later. These impact sockets, these are kind of no name on there. It says chrome vanadium on there. And I do have some Craftsman sockets that are very, very similar to this, but no Craftsman anywhere on here, so not sure. 3/8 drive impact, 6 point. I'll definitely keep those. I can use those at work. And let's do some of these miscellaneous ones here. This is a Bog, and I never heard of them until I got this one. Bog Manufacturing, Chicago. It has the knurling on it. You know, it says Chicago, so I would imagine it's fairly old. I would bet that this could be definitely from the 30s, but I could be wrong. And this is a square, half-inch drive square on both sides, so this could either be like a coupler to join two extensions together. I think that's the way they did it back in the day, or it's just for the square, you know, square pipe plug socket. So definitely interesting piece there. Got a little Williams socket. I believe this is a 7/16. Not too old. It has the scroll logo on it, so nothing too fancy. Got a Mac X 266 13/16 shallow 3/8 drive socket. So that's kind of cool. I like how it tapers down. Usually, you know, you only see that on the bigger sockets, but thought that was kind of cool. Got a Husky 32 millimeter, and this is a USA Husky, so a little bit older. Still has the old price tag on it. $2.38 for that thing. Right now, I bet you couldn't get a brand new 32 millimeter USA socket for less than $10. So that's definitely a score there. Let's take a look at this really old stuff right here. This is some hex drive sockets. So these are probably from the 20s, but I think they even made these in the teens, late teens through the 20s, and I think some companies still made these through the 30s, maybe even into the 40s. But I think by the 40s these were definitely out. Yeah, I have no idea. There's no brand on these. Could be Industro, could be Duro, could be any number of brands. Just no marking on there. So these are probably the oldest thing that I found in all of this. So let's see here. Where should we go next? I guess let's move to the Snap-on, because that's really why I bought this, for all of this Snap-on stuff in here. So we'll start with these deep sockets back here. And these are pretty old. These are from 1947. That's what that little 7 right there means. There's a chart online. You can look it up, and shows you all the different symbols that they used for the years, starting from, I want to say, the 30s on up is when they started doing this. So this whole set is pretty much has the 7s. There's one 8 in there. I'll show you, I think, on these. But there's a, an 8 in here, an 8 in here, but most of them are 7. So we're looking at 47 and 48. This socket is must have been replaced at some point, because this is 10 years later. That is a later 7, 1957. So you can see there's no knurling on there, and has the 2 lines on it. So completely different style socket, completely different style 7 on there, but snap-on nonetheless. You can see the differences in those. It's got that curved back side on it. 47 if it's straight. 57. So that's kind of cool. So a couple of half or a quarter-inch drive deeps, some quarter-inch drive shallows, again 47. And this is kind of cool. Just about a full set of the double squares here. And if you don't do anything industrial, you're really not going to get into anything like this. You may see, a square pipe plug on maybe like a transfer case of an older vehicle or something. But usually these are, for plumbing, pipe plugs, stuff like that. More industrial things, maybe boilers, oil transfer lines, stuff like that. You'll see a square, and that is a double square 8-point. So you're not going to be able to shove this on your 6-point fasteners and have it work. So square pipe plug. Again, these are from, this one's got the 8 on it. So let's zoom in on that one. So that looks like a little hourglass, flat on the top, flat on the bottom, but that represents an 8 for 1948. So that's pretty cool. You got 2 half-inch drive here. I believe that one's 47. So just your standard 12-point shallow half-inch drive, 1947 sockets. And these are interesting because these are full chrome, but it still has the old 8 on it. So I'm wondering if in 1948 the 3/8 drive sockets were full chrome and had the line on it, because it still has that old Snap-on logo on there, but it has the hourglass style 8. So definitely a 1948 socket. So maybe they just did that with the smaller sockets. They just full chromed them and didn't bother, doing the unpolished on there. Maybe that was the cutoff year for the knurling. And what we got here is, this is interesting. This is a Snap-on adapter, and you would think, okay, it's a 3/4 to 1/2 inch, but it's not. It's a 7/8 to 5/8, and I can't read the model number on here. It looks like it says Snap-on something D-9 on there, and it might come up better. Might be able to read it better on there, but I doubt it. So I couldn't find a model number. I couldn't find anything comparable to this. I think I found maybe a 5/8 to 1/2 inch or something adapter. So this could definitely be older. I don't know when they stopped using 7/8 and 5/8 drives, but this could be a pretty early adapter. So that's kind of cool. Got a little screwdriver bit here, flat blade screwdriver bit. I forget what the date was on this one. Let's see. It looks like we have a 9 there, and I'm wondering, that's a 1959. I think that's 1959, that style there. So again, somebody will tell me if I'm wrong, but still cool, older Snap-on stuff. Got a Snap-on breaker bar here, F10-L, and has a very hard to see hourglass on there, hourglass 8, really hard to see. So that's a 1948, so that goes with, these 3/8 sockets here. And same with this extension, like the other extension that I had. This one's got an hourglass on it, FX11. This one isn't beat up too bad like the other one. Doesn't look like it was used on an impact. I can still see the slightly rounded off edges on here. It's not completely flat, so this thing wasn't really beat, so that's nice. Nice snap-on extension. All right, let's move on to the Craftsman stuff, and we'll start with this New Britain. Now, New Britain was the contract for Craftsman, I believe, starting in 1935. So I'm not sure what year this wrench is, but it's a New Britain, and I want to say the part number is NS58. It's pretty hard to read. This thing is pretty beat. I mean, it is pitted and rusted and not in the greatest shape, but it's cool. It's still a New Britain, still pretty old. Got a nice cocoon going on in there, but I thought that was pretty cool. And to go along with that, I have some pretty old Craftsman sockets, and these are Craftsman BE. And we have the underline slightly underneath there, so this is the second style font, I believe, for this era. Usually it was just the block letters, and then after that it went to this little half line underneath the Craftsman. And I don't know if you could see that. Yep, BE right there. So BE has been known to indicate that it was made by the New Britain company. So these are fairly old. I would imagine these are around the World War II era, but they have plating on them, at least this one does. So I'm not sure when the cutoff was of, when they started putting this line underneath there. It could have been right before World War II or right after World War II, but I don't think much later. If these were during World War II, they probably wouldn't have this finish on them. They would just be dull sockets. They would probably look something like these. And these don't really have a finish on them. And all these say on them is SR. And I did a little bit of research on these and found that these could possibly be Plomb sockets. And it looks like they're hot broached. So these would be after 1943. So these very well could be from the World War II era, just unfinished SR. If anyone has any more information on these, any light to shed on them, put it down in the comment section there, and maybe we'll all learn a little more today. All right, what else do we have here? I don't think I went over these two little sockets. These are some Proto 1/4 inch. I'm not even going to zoom in on them. I don't think they're that old. I think those are about the era as the other Proto stuff I had. Got this little ignition wrench set. Just some little wrenches. Got some Eastman. I don't know how you pronounce that. Eastman. It's pretty much like Weissman without the W on it. I think some of them say Remy on them. Some of them say Wagner on them. And there's a couple of Allen wrenches in here. So just a little kind of pouch you carry around for your ignition stuff. Little number 1 Phillips screwdriver. I thought it was Craftsman, but there's nothing on it. It's red and blue. I know Master Mechanic did that for a little bit, kind of copied the red and blue, but there is nothing on this thing, so probably just a no-namer. This little piece here, I don't know what this is. I could take a couple of guesses, but if you know, put it down in there. Looks like it's been beat on, and look at all those chips, just like that wedge. I'm telling you, those chips went somewhere. Did they go in your eye or your arm? Where'd they go? They flew off. So again, be careful out there. I don't know. I think this might be some sort of seal setting tool. Maybe there were some adapters that went onto here, different size adapters for different size seals, possibly. I don't know. That's my guess. All right. So lastly and not leastly, we have these two extensions, and these are Plomb. And it says Plomb, made in the USA. And that is a 5463. And I forget what the other one is. 5462 maybe. 5461. So 5461 and a 5463 extension. Plomb, made in the USA. These are probably 1939, I want to say, to 1948, I think is when they used this logo and went to the manufacturer or made in USA. If it said made in LA, it would be 38 or earlier. Let me grab a. So that is it, folks. What do you think? Did I do good? I didn't even tell you. I forget what I paid for this box. $57.28. I think I did pretty good on this one. There's a lot of stuff in here that I can use. There's a lot of collectible stuff in here. I think this box, you know, if somebody was a collector and they got this box, I think they'd be pretty excited. There's some cool stuff in here. Oh, and I forgot I didn't touch on these sockets right here. So before we go, let's do that. These are some Bonney sockets. These are what I thought were going to be Craftsman, because I just saw that knurling on there, and it kind of looked like a Craftsman socket from the side there. But, you know, the Craftsman has the knurling on the bottom, and I've never seen any Bonney sockets before. These are my first, so these are pretty cool. As the CV and the circle, I tried to date these, but there was not too much information out there on these. But again, I would imagine these are a similar era to the Snap-on. You know, it's a similar style, polished or, you know, plated on the top and just not polished or finished or anything on the bottom here. Same with the SK. I would assume these are around the 40s, could be the 50s. If there were any... All right, well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Let me know, what was your favorite tool here? What was the best find did I make out here? Again, total with all of these tools, I paid $266 with tax, fees, and the gas to go out and get them. That's a lot of money, but I don't know. I think with this last box, I think it put me definitely over and made it a little bit more worth the while. Again, I'd like to see a little bit better stuff for my money, but it is what it is. You know, you get in those auctions and you just kind of sometimes let it get away from you. So let me know. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun. Bye.